EuroScrum for the past a week and a half, I guess.
Wow, cool.
It's been really lonely here, lonely planet.
Hmm.
Okay, let me share my screen. So, guys, yeah, get us up to date to what's going on. Sly, let's start with you. What's happening?
Well, after I've made some changes to the latest pull request after Brian added some comments, and then I would expect you to post the code we were discussing in order to refactor the JS function, because I did copy it while we had the conversation, but then I forgot to paste it and it got wasted in my clipboard.
Sure, no problem at all. I'll post it into the discussion on pull request. We can discuss it, and then if you like, you can refactor it yourself, or if you need any help, we can pair on it anytime.
Okay, cool. I would probably need some help for covering that case that you mentioned, that when you search for a name and then delete it and search for another name. But I will try to cover it first myself and then get back to you if I have some problems.
Okay, and also I guess you would need some guidance on doing the Jasmine tests.
I'm sorry?
The Jasmine, are you familiar with Jasmine tests?
I took a look at them, but I didn't do a Jasmine test for this case, so I would probably do it as well when I refactor with your code.
Right. Okay. I strongly recommend on pairing with somebody on Jasmine, because Jasmine is not difficult. It's actually quite simple. But there are a lot of little things which take ages to find out. Once you find out, it's really quick and easy. But the first time you do it, you might just spend hours and hours.
Okay, cool, sure.
But I mean, it's okay. I mean, if you enjoy spending hours and hours like I do, then it's okay.
Not particularly, no.
Really? I quite like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are your plans then?
Well, I've started working on the story with the documents changed section yesterday, and I have something to show already, but I'd like to discuss it and see if you meant something else and so on, because I just implemented the most simple scenario I thought of.
Okay, that's cool. Is that the one I was recommending, the document updates history? This one?
No, this one I didn't start it because I saw that there was no comments from Chris, and I decided not to get in the way without his consent, because I could recall that there were some other guys that were not very pleased of the fact that someone did their story, and I would not like to do the same.
I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I prefer to be, more relaxed about it. There are plenty of stories. If somebody goes away and comes back, he can jump on something else. But Chris, I have asked Chris twice already. I have posted twice to him asking, what's going on with the story. He hasn't replied. I think we'll just wait for another day and and just jump into the story. I don't think that'd be a problem.
Okay, cool. As far as I get the story, it's kind of JS oriented as well, yeah. Because as far as I could remember, we just needed to hide the revision section in the document.
Well, actually, we need to do two things there. It consists of two parts. So, for example, if I open up a document, like for example here, see we have this revisions history.
Okay.
So, okay, no, a better example would be something like something recent. Okay, features request. That's a recent one. So, yeah. Okay, so first of all, we want to collapse this. So we want these revisions to be hidden, and if somebody wants to have a look at the revision, he would press click something, and that would open up the revision history. And that's the first part, the UI part. That's the JS. And the second part is that you see when somebody edits a document, like we get this John updated 16 hours ago, and then again John updated 16 hours ago. So the idea was the second part of the story is to make this revision concise, and that is if the same author goes several times one after another, then just show the last record from that author. So for John, it would just show just one line 16 hours ago, and for me, it's just one line 17 hours ago.
Okay, I guess that this should be done when the same author did a change in consecutive times. I mean, we have to look if several times the document has been edited by the same user. I mean,
well, there are two ways about it. You know, one way is we don't touch the system which records the revisions. You know, we let it record the revisions just the way it does. But when we're showing the revisions, we sort of, you know, we show. We have this author Thomas. Okay, show him. The next author is Sam. Okay, show him. The next author is Yaro. Okay, show him. The next author is Yaro. Okay, update the last line. Next one is Yaro. Okay, update the last line. You know, this way. Just like iterate through an array of revisions, but only show the unique ones. In fact, we could probably make it like get an array of revisions and just compact that array first, and then just show that array. Well, anyway, you know, something to think about.
Okay, I will take a look at it as well.
But you started, which story did you, by the way, just one thing about this. If you go to the About page, you'll see an example of this revisions thing here. There, you know, just the UI.
Okay.
You can use this as a start, I guess, just the same implementation. I don't like it myself, personally. I think it looks a bit gay. But you know, you can start with this and just maybe find another nicer way of showing it. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just imagining because something similar, but with the plus and minus sign, because it's more clear for the user, I guess.
We're using this caret thing already, so we might as well use that. Yeah, but you know, play around with it, have fun. We'll choose something in the end.
Okay, sure.
Which story did you start on? You said you started on a story?
I started on this one about it's assigned to you, and I followed it as well, and I didn't click start yet, but just let me see my pivotal tracker page.
The documents management, you mean?
Yeah, sure. It's the documents management story.
Okay, that's well. I mean, if you wanna be part of the story, let's add you to it. But did you get the idea what we want for this story?
As far as I could understand from the description, this story should cover moving documents around in different sections in the same project. I mean, if you have some articles in guides per se and you would like to move them to events index lo-fi, let's say, that you should be able to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I have made a document here. Documents. No, that's not it. Okay, lo-fi for documents management here. Let me post you the link into the group chat. Have a look at the document and add your ideas to the lo-fi. So that was kind of the idea. Have a move button. You know, get a pop-up asking what section do I want to move in. I moved it, so I get this pop-up saying okay. But you know, have a look at it. Add your ideas.
Okay, sure.
Okay, cool. So, any plans for pairing?
Yeah, I might pair. I'm available this afternoon until probably 2 o'clock UTC.
Cool, cool. Okay, well, let us know on Slack if you would like to pair, or if you have any other questions and you would like to work on your own. That is perfectly fine with me, anyway. Um, okay, cool. Nick, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. So, as you know, I started on OSRA
Astra. Yeah.
um, literally, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, I think at this point. It's a very different, it's, I guess, at a very different stage of development compared to Website 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very small team at the moment. There are basically 3 people actively working on it. Um, so definitely a very different perspective to Website 1. Since I started, I have I've been working on 4 different stories, and I submitted 3 pull requests. One of them already got merged in. We upgraded our spec from version 2.14 to version 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was a very good thing because right now the test suite for the project is very small. It was fairly easy to do this upgrade, and now we can start building on it. Um, I'm also trying to implement, as you can see, Factory Girl, and there is some discussion going on in that pull request between me, Brian, and Sam Pretty, and I'm really hoping that those guys get back to me soon so that I can either fix or not fix the things that we're talking about and get Factory Girl merged in, and then that will allow Craig and myself to work on Cucumber stories for Craig and on refactoring the specs for me using factories and using our spec 3. So just kind of waiting on this pull request to get it merged, and then up and running again. And
What are your next plans for the project?
so my next plans are I have a story on refactoring the model specs, but I will also, I think, create another story about significantly increasing code coverage in our specs, because right now I think we are very, very undercovered. So I would like to do that, and then Motasem is working on a story where he's adding the orphan model to the project, and some of the future stories are kind of waiting on that story to get finished. So yeah, we're at a bit of a bottleneck, and with only 3 people, it's a bit slow going. So I'll be doing a little bit of refactoring in the meantime, but then once the bottleneck is done, then probably take a feature story and start working on that.
All right. So, what is it that caught you in the OSA project the most? I mean, could you sort of summarize it?
Um, I think I just heard Motasem talking about how, he's alone basically on it. And it seemed like a shame because the project is, it's a real project with a real client. As far as I'm concerned, it has a very good purpose as well. Um, it's a real world thing basically, that there is a chance to help people in the real world by working on this. Before I joined the project, I had commented a few times on pull requests in there just to do a little bit of code review. And when I started looking for, after all my Website 1 stories were finished, I started looking at a new story to work on, and I looked at Website 1 stories. There wasn't anything that immediately appealed to me. I looked at OSRA stories and saw that there was a chance for me to jump in and do something there. So,
okay.
yeah.
Well, I was, I was just thinking about our conversation last night about the differences of, about the future of Website 1 and Agile Ventures and the difference of OSRA as compared to that. And I was just thinking this morning that, I think it's very important that we have people, we have developers distributed across projects. So then we can, have, then we can have customers of Website 1, which are, more in a position to be a customer. So, people working on Website 1 could actually ask, so guys, can we do something for your project, for the OSRA project, something to make your life easier when working on the project? So I think it would be a very good idea when you working on OSRA project, regard Website 1 as a platform, and then you can come in into Website 1 sessions from time to time, and give your feedback how you as a customer of Website 1 would like things to get changed in order to make life easier for you on your project.
Yeah, I've thought about the same, that it will allow me to bring kind of an outside perspective to Website 1 as well.
Yeah, and I think I think it's very important, because at the moment most of the changes that were happening on Website 1, they were from the people who were working in the Website 1 project.
Exactly.
And that's exactly I think that's a problem for now, because that's exactly why we weren't paying attention to the fact it's difficult to write documents, it's difficult to manage documents, because nobody really led a project on Website 1. None of Website 1 developers led a project on Website 1.
Right.
Basically. And I think it's great. It's great that we have people working on other projects, and I guess we'll be getting some real value feedback from them in the near future.
Yeah, as I mentioned to you, I haven't quit Website 1 project. I've stepped away. I'm on a sabbatical, let's say. But
well, I understand perfectly well. I mean, I was in your position a couple of times already. But as I mentioned, for me, it's an overall challenge. I do enjoy coding very much, but I mean, the rest of management stuff is a challenge for me, and I'm just finding, I just believe there is a way of finding a compromise among all the different members, and all the different developers, and actually finding a way of moving forward in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I share your point of view. It's just that I wasn't attached enough to Website 1 to start trying to fight and push for it. But hopefully, like I said, just simply by bringing my outside opinions as a customer, maybe I can benefit the project anyway.
Absolutely, I think that would be very valuable. Coming from a project and saying, guys, I'm working on a project which is hosted on Agile Ventures, and this is the feedback I have. That would be extremely valuable. Well, let me update you on what's happening on Website 1 at the moment. So, what do we have? We have a couple of pull requests for Website 1. And that is, okay, this is some ongoing work. So we have some refactoring on Aspect Epic from Slide. We have a new feature submitted by Slide, which is a search functionality on the members index. So we'll be able to do a live filtering of all of the members on the page. That sounds useful. What else? We have some changes merge into website 1 develop, and the noticeable changes are the Scrums index, which is basically a nice UI for viewing Scrums. I don't know, guys, if you have seen it. You can certainly have a look at it and play around with it and give some feedback. Okay, just waiting for the instance to wake up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took a look at it when it was still on your instance, Yaro, I think. Yeah, it looks good.
This is the Scrums. This is not.
This is different, right?
This is the Scrums. Hey, Hiroku, wake up. Pum pum pum. Bum bum bum. Hiroku. Okay, anyway, we'll look at those. So 2 features merge into develop, and I will be advertising them on the channels today, asking people to come in, review, and give some feedback. So that can hopefully gets merged into develop at some point. So this is just a feature to view the Scrums. You know, we can press here, we'll get a pop-up with the video. Kind of nice. The idea was to follow the Hiroku status, if you guys have seen it.
Yeah, yeah.
Heroku status page. And the Hangouts one, yeah, this is an ongoing effort of, you know, reaching the objective of creating a Hangout, letting other people know that I want to have a Hangout, and being able to browse the old Hangouts. So I have some updates to this story already in a new pull request, some minor changes to the UI and Ajax refreshes. So if you stay on this page, you know, it will get updated automatically if there are any new sessions going on.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we had a really productive session last night with myself, John Engelbert, and Amal on, you know, designing architecture for the events for events. So basically, we started from, you know, summarizing user stories like. Why would I want to be able to create an event? You know, so users can join us, so users can schedule their times. What is it important for me to know about an event before I make a decision I want to join? And you know, we actually wrote down some things that we think people should know about an event, and you know, should be presented in some kind of view of, you know, current events. So it was a very good discussion. It was a brainstorming discussion, and we have come out with the architecture for events and generating events. So if you guys are interested, you can join in the discussion, add your ideas, maybe what else you would like to you know, to see in events, or the functionality of creating events. So we will continue working on that, and hopefully, you know, we can redesign the architecture for events soon. And again, the main goal is to make it easy to create an event, let other people know that this event is upcoming, notify them about it, and make it easy for them to join, and make it easy to browse all the events and browse all the associated information with that event, like pull requests, links, subscripts, whatever. So this is a big epic story, and you know, finally, I'm very glad that we have started from, you know, from my point of view, the proper planning. So we actually thought about what would our customers want without thinking about the implementation.
Mm-hmm.
So this is some good news about the pivotal tracker. So we have a few stories being in progress at the moment. This hookups feature, which I've just presented, you know, that we had brainstorming about by John Engelbert, split across a few stories, like 1, 2, 3, 4 stories here. We have a documents update history, which we have discussed with Sly, which is basically, you know, hiding that ugly revisions history and updating that. And also we have a story for public dashboard, which, by the way, guys, and Nick, as also to, you know, to get a perspective from a customer from another project. The idea is, I mean, at the moment, the idea is to create a public dashboard for the whole of Agile Ventures, which and the main goal for this dashboard, get people excited about the platform, and and get them excited to join, to see that there are a lot of projects, there are a lot of things going on. I want to be part of it. But this will also serve as a prototype on a smaller scale for each project. So each project's landing page can have its own dashboard with some vital statistics that you would like to present to potential members of the project.
I see.
So yeah, so during the discussion, add some ideas. We have some ideas of indicators that we might have. Yeah, you can add ideas here, and that's it. That's going on that's what is going on website 1. Also, we had our first planning meeting at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. We had me, Thomas, some pretty. John and Amal there. It was a new experience for us. I mean, we actually Thomas let me lead a little bit on that planning meeting, and I was very glad that we have finally discussed and agreed on the current project goals, which I think is absolutely vital to go any further.
Sure.
So where is it? Project overview, mission values and goals. So basically the project goals that we have here, the short term, the mid term and the long term, have been approved and said that these are the goals we want to achieve in the very near future.
Okay.
For me, that's a big step forward. That means that any planning, any prioritizing a pivotal track will be done in the scope of these goals. So we will be focusing on the short-term goals and on some mid-term goals. But as you can see, the short-term goal for project for website 1 is to provide fast involvement by providing information like guides, learning materials, screencasts, and all the stuff we have discussed at that bigger meeting. And also, point number 6, which I've written down, directly from your words, is make joining scrums and PP sessions comfortable and not intimidating. That's the short-term goal, and we still have to think how we're going to achieve that. But for me, that's a big step forward, and we have all the little stories written up in Pivotal Tracker, which sort of aim to reach the short-term goals. These are the stories here, like update welcome email, update website to have information about Slack, rework structure of documents, add introductory screencasts, a cheat sheet for introductory PP sessions, best videos, articles, showcase cases and stuff. The only problem is, it doesn't involve, well, not a problem. The only issue, these stories don't involve much coding. They are content maintenance stories. And the issue that I have with myself, I would like to code. When I feel like writing, I write, but I don't feel like writing all of the time. And we don't have people around. We don't have many people around who like to do that job, basically. And I'm not quite too sure how to go about it. How to get people excited about doing this job of creating all this introductory screencasts and stuff, and updating the getting started guides.
Well, I'm strange enough that I actually do like to write. So if I guess if I agree with what I'm writing, so if somebody, or if the whole team comes up with, let's say, an outline, I would be happy to try to flesh it out, convert it from point form notes into an actual readable text, and get revision suggestions from people, and well, basically go through the entire code revision process, except for with English language instead of Ruby. So if there's a clear, clearly defined thing like that, I could try to take it on and kind of see where it goes.
Well, that would be a great help. By the way, another big news is that that Wednesday on that meeting, the planning meeting, sort of Thomas carefully mentioned that I can now regard myself as an official editor of Website 1 documents thing with the roles. Oh, by the way, yeah, I have written up the roles. I have updated the current roles for members. For Website 1, and I have also updated the role for editor, roles, where is it? Decision-making roles and responsibilities. So I have updated some roles for project lead, technical lead, but mainly for the editor, and I still need to reword this stuff as Thomas has asked. But yeah, I mean, now I can regard myself as an official editor, but that means, Nick, that means that, I can provide as much support as I can to anything you write, to anything you produce, and maybe a good start if you do a showcase for OSRA project, since you're interested in it. I mean, a showcase like how like do it for write up the getting started stuff and for OSRA project and make it a showcase for others how this should be done, and for Website 1 as well.
Okay.
And I can provide guidance on what kind of information we have where, because we have some in GitHub repo, we have some around on Website 1. We can just go through all that, pick up the good stuff. You can use that as a template, as a base for OSRA, and then carefully we can work out the optimal structure for this kind of stuff and duplicate it for Website 1 too.
Okay, that sounds good to me. I guess my priority in doing that then would be to talk to Motasem, and basically, I mean, I would like to get a very clear idea of what it is that OSRA wants to become, so that I can incorporate that into the project description. So what it is exactly that we're building, and then it would make it easier for me to write something like that once I clearly understand that. But yeah, I haven't actually spoken to him once since we joined, at least not live. We're, I think, in different time zones, and time is precious. But yeah, at some point I need to do that anyway for myself. And once I've done that, then I think this writing would become a lot more personal for me, I suppose.
And from my side, I will be happy to assist in providing any existing information we have, to assisting in providing tools for editing documents, and editing the structured documents, like pushing the features that are related to that, like being able to move documents around, naming, renaming them, editing with a editor which is good enough,
Yeah, that's a big stumbling block there, isn't it?
Yeah, but basically, I was kind of asking for this editor role so I can take a lead on that, on that functionality section of Website 1. So basically, I can push things. So to make things easier for myself to manage the document base, and make it easier for others, to facilitate it for others to manage it.
Okay, Yaro, that sounds good. I'll, as soon as I'm able to get started and have enough information to get started, I'll start sending documents your way, and you can look at them and give me feedback, hopefully.
Yeah. It's just I really like to have a joint effort on this.
Sure.
And the good thing, you can do it on OSRA, I can do it on Website 1, but jointly we can find better solutions to things by ourselves, I guess. I mean, we'll see how it goes anyway. Because
Of course.
For known reasons.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, so my plan for today, I have probably most of the day free today to work on. I will be polishing off a little bit the Hangouts feature, just covering with Jasmine test, the Ajax refreshes thing, and I will be editing the document for the new events architecture and hopefully pairing with John, to start implementing that. That's it. That's it, guys. Nothing else to report from me. So, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Any suggestions? Any requests?
I'll send them to you as they come up. How about that?
And by the way, Nick, maybe you can talk to the guys on Oyster project. Sort of presenting this idea that we're now sort of using the platform for ourselves. Let's give feedback what we want to change for ourselves to make it easier.
Yeah, definitely. I was already thinking of a few messages that I'll post on the Oscar channel, and I would really like for at least Motas and Craig and I to find 20 minutes to sit down and talk face to face at some point soon. So I think that would be on the agenda for sure.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. Once we have this, first I was thinking, it looks like this is there's this new gang there, which is sort of close to itself, not close to itself, but sort of preoccupied with themselves on their project. But then I thought, wow, but this is great. This is great. Then then website one can actually see that those people are working on something. They're working together, and they don't have to stay on Agile Ventures to continue working on the project. We have to, make it comfortable for them to stay here.
Yeah.
And I think that is great. I think that would give us, a little bit of competition. Well, not competition, but competition. Make it good for people, because otherwise, I can see that anybody who hosts a project in Agile Ventures doesn't have to do it, because he can go to Jira, he can go to Basecamp, he can go to hundreds of other tools on the internet for project management. So we have to be special in some way, and it would be really cool if you guys start that discussion on the project, and start sending messages to website one saying, guys, time to change this.
Hopefully it's something less drastic, but at least
Well, I mean, along those lines. I mean, we'll start slowly, obviously.
Right.
But I think this is the way, and we really need to get more projects in, and hopefully, I'm going to meet a guy this weekend who lives here in Tenerife, who's a really experienced developer, Rails developer, like 7 years experience.
Oh wow.
He's originally from Estonia, but he's been living in Tenerife for 5 years now, plus or minus. And we're thinking of this. We're thinking of a joint project to start, and I will talk to him about hosting it on Agile Ventures, just as experiment, and see how that goes. So yeah, guys, I will announce that next Monday, I guess. And if you be interested, we can have yet another independent project on Agile Ventures, and that would be really good.
I think so.
Cool. Okay, guys, so have a nice day. See you around. I'm on Slack. Post any messages, and if you would like to play, just let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Cool. See you guys.
Yeah.
Sure.
See you.
All right. Have a nice day, guys. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day. Bye.